Welcome back to the coverage here of the European Touch Championships 2018. We've got a Women's Open match coming up for you now. Belgium taking on England as we take a look down at the Belgium lineup. We've got Samantha Verbois, Jane Gimber, Audrey Commune, Erica Nagels, Letitia Devawer, Hannah Granger-Clemson, Eva Andre Munoz, Ella Stillert, Sienna Martins, Penelope Spencer, Jeanne Delafontaine, Louise van Eek, Florence Lacrosse, Jocke van Kovenberger, Sophia van Gansen and Sophie Dierkersmaker. They're coached by Varen Kint. And for England, they've got Jenny Lee, Bronte Sykes, Emily Clues, Rosanna Cormack, Sophia Luxton, Lucy Norburn, Anna Goddard, Alyssa Grant-Walker. Julianne Roos is not here. Sadie Meakin, though, is. Kate Davis-Bavin, Caroline Pillman, who was so good earlier on, Adeline Drutt, Danny Payton, Susanna Hudson, and Rosie Kells, coached by Simon Clare. Delighted to be joined on the commentary by Ben Powell. Ben, first of all, a very warm welcome to you. Delighted to have you with us. Tell us exactly who you are and why we should listen to your opinions on touch rugby.
Well, I think those who've been watching the live stream will be happy they haven't heard me for a couple of days. My role here is the European Federation of Touch president. So, yeah, I've been here watching some fantastic touch, overseeing what is Europe's flagship event, and I'm looking forward to this game.
Yeah, and how pleased must you be with the progress of this tournament? It's been absolutely magical.
Yeah, look, going forward, it had a lot of promise coming into the tournament. That is, it's exceeded all of our expectations by day 3. It was already the biggest ever before we got here in 62 teams, over 17 nations, 1,500 players, over 75 volunteers. It's the biggest we've put on in our history. As we see England there with an early intercept.
Yeah, here we go. Off to the races. Does she have the pace to go all the way? I think she does. Not quite. Just caught at the last.
Yeah, Belgians there chasing down Rosie Kells.
Terrific run from Rosie.
So they've been turnover possession there for her hips not square. So when you roll the ball, your hips must be square to the try line. So poor Rosie, she'll be disappointed with that after that big run to turn the ball over so easily.
Yeah, absolutely. Wrong there. It was a great effort. We did see a couple of fantastic breakaway touchdowns already this afternoon. Saw one of the best ones from Ireland and McAteer down the left side. But here come Belgium, who started very strongly, putting pressure on this England team.
Yeah, Belgium will be pleased with their start. England will just settle into this. They've had an already very successful morning on-field one with their win over Wales, and that's sent shockwaves through the rest of the division, really. Wales looked the informed team up until that point, and England have really exerted their authority. I'm sure both teams were a little bit careful with what they showed each other, as they are both expecting to meet each other in tomorrow evening's final. So they would have been quite cautious against each other, not revealing too much, and leaving a little bit for what could be the final tomorrow evening.
Yeah, I just wonder if Wales perhaps left too much in the locker with their performance earlier against England. It was a big scoreline at the very least. It perhaps didn't show the territorial nature of the game, but England's far more dynamic, and it really did show on the scoreline.
Yeah, I think for England it was their most clinical game, and to play their most clinical game against who is being perceived as the biggest opposition for the title is very impressive. It's well noted this year that England are on what will it be now, a 71 game winning streak, this England Women's Open, coming into their 7th consecutive successful European Championship. And Wales have played bridesmaid for the last 3 championships, so they'll be confident going into the final, as they always are if they make it, but I think they'll have plenty left in the locker come tomorrow afternoon.
Yeah, they'll certainly be hoping so. And 2 players by the ball here were particularly
some really good defensive
impressive
work from Belgium at the moment, actually. England are using their pace, particularly around this roll ball and sweeping around the back. Here's Emily Clues.
Always Kells in there in the corner. Belgium protesting, and they do indeed come away with the ball.
So I think
Kells again denied.
Yeah, I think they've got a penalty there for touch and pass. Wasn't quite clear with the signal there from the ref, but looks like touch and pass, and Belgium turn it over. As I said, really good defensive pressure from Belgium, and they'll be pleased with their start, putting England under a lot of pressure when they have the ball, and they're driving well as well.
And how pleasing is it for you, as with your involvement in the European Federation, that the performance of developing nations such as Belgium against some of the heavyweights in England? I think there was a touch there just before the ball could be grounded. Indeed there was. But Belgium's performance here, certainly their start, let's not get carried away of course, still very early days, but promising signs.
Yeah, look, the standard of the women's and the men's division this year, kind of across the board, has been really, really good. Look, I think the stronger nations, the more developed nations in the sport, normally come out on top over the course of the 40-minute game. But Belgium are really pleased with how they've been progressing this week, having speaking to the Belgian president of their association.
Oh, needed a pass.
Who's actually on the field for the Belgian Women's Open team this game as well.
No, that's not been given, I don't think. Yeah, it's Bronte Sykes who was down, and no touchdown in the end.
Bronte sort of showing her displeasure at the decision from the referee. The referee's called ball down, so he's deemed that Bronte hasn't had control of that ball as she's grounded it. She didn't agree, but the ref's decision stands, and off
Bronte's
Belgium
never
go.
ever going to agree with that call. Belgium showing plenty of pace. This is Jane Gimber.
That's Jane. She's the Belgian Touch Association president at the moment, and she's also an EFT board member. She's our marketing director.
Wears a few hats there.
Yeah, she does. So England are just going to go through their processes here. You've seen they've started to go a little bit more direct this time in their drive rather than work to the sub-box. They're looking to put a bit of pressure on Belgium midfield. And there we go, a nice ball outside by Susanna Hudson, and this time Rosie Kells. She's able to finish it off, we think.
Yeah, let's just wait for the signal from our officials. Yeah, it is a touchdown. Rosie Kells, the third time of asking really, gets her touchdown eventually. This was a good move by England.
Yeah, so you can see England punched up the middle of the field with their four-man drive early doors, and then Susanna Hudson moves that ball wide after compressing the Belgian defence, and that nice long ball out to Rosie Kells, and a good finish.
It certainly was. Belgium instantly looking to respond with one here from Devawara. So did they come again?
So it's nice, much better and more confident defence there from England this set. Staying nice, tight and compact.
Well, I think actually that was the most impressive thing of that dominant win over Wales, was how good they were defensively. Yes, they were very good going forward, but we perhaps expected that. But to keep Wales to, I think, one touchdown, I think it was in the end, absolutely sensational performance.
Yeah, and look, I think the scoreline probably flattered them in a way, and not so much as England didn't perform in that they were exceptional, but they neutralised the Welsh attack. The Welsh attack, largely speaking, this tournament has, and we see Jenny Lee going through, looking for options as half, gives that ball away, and touch made. Really good recovery from Belgium. So most people seen there Jenny Lee dancing around the touchdown area. When you go through from half, you can't score and you can't be touched. So Jenny taking advantage of the offside players, getting through, then looking for a scoring opportunity. But Belgium, really good defence, and they'll be happy with their start. Yeah, so back to the Welsh game. Wales's attack has largely focused around the centre of the field, particularly in line attack. Their quickie sequences are very, very effective. They've got a couple of long balls in the team, and then they look to expand and go wide. What England are very good at is compressing early, and here we go. Ooh, unlucky. They're very good at compressing early and then fanning out. And that seemed to neutralise what Wales were throwing at them earlier today.
Or even look at it from a far less technical viewpoint, there just didn't seem to be any gaps wherever Wales tried on the pitch, and they tried quite a static offensive tactic, which we didn't see in their first game against Switzerland, where they were very dynamic, and it seemed like they were trying a specific way of playing against this England defence, and Well, I think it's safe to say it wasn't as effective as they would have liked.
Yeah, and that's probably a tell of kind of where they're going to go perhaps tomorrow if these two teams meet in. Oh, we've got a hard touch there. So Addie Druitt going down. Belgian player, accidental, didn't seem to be any malice in it, but when she's initiated that touch, it's gone into the face of Addie. But Addie's back on her feet. Yeah, so it's probably a good tell that actually Wales, whilst, look, they will have wanted to win that game and they will have been trying to, but maybe explaining actually if there was a difference between how they played earlier in the day. They're not looking to give too much shape away, too much of what they intend to do before any potential rematch later on tomorrow evening.
Maybe just trying to lull England to potentially false sense of security perhaps as well.
Yeah, and I mean, look, it's a good tactic. Both teams will be aware that, you know, they're going to be a little bit of game playing off the field as much as on the field. But I mean, both teams, all 32 players, are very experienced, and you know they're not going to be taking anything for granted should they meet in the final tomorrow.
Okay, England again with Luxton. Got a couple of scores in that game against Wales.
So Jenny Lee's going to look to set something up. Looks like we're going to set here either for a scoop or a quickie. Jenny bounces around the outside, takes on, and the long ball goes across.
Looked to be played pretty perfectly. It's a judgment. It is a touchdown.
Good. So we see there Jenny Lee setting herself up with Sophia, and that lovely long ball over to Addie, and a good finish.
Yeah, Druitt with the finish, and she was the spare player there. And just drew the Belgium defence inwards. Immediately released it down the wings, and there was the space, and there was a player more than capable of finishing that off in Druitt. Belgium.
Yeah, unlucky Belgium. They're just dumping that ball a little bit too close to the line. So where you ideally want to dump that ball to attack is sort of 7 to 8 out, and that gives the defence far enough to have to retreat to the line, and therefore gives you an advantage when you're attacking. If you dump too close to the line, obviously the defence can travel back much easier and then bounce back up to initiate that touch. So England middles there. You got Rosie Cormack and Caroline Pillman in the middle. One of them just caught offside. So a repeat set for Belgium. Let's see if they can put some pressure on England.
Oh, good diving attempt.
A really good touch there from England. You can see the link just popping out of her channel, getting up and defending space, and that's what the England girls will be doing now. They're not looking really at players, they're looking at defending space to assist that player who is retreating onside. And there we go. Rosie Cormack, Anna Goddard, both from the same club here in England, both Cambridge-based players.
And that, of course, helps with links at international level, of course.
Yeah, definitely. And interestingly, both girls have been involved in the sport since the age, well, Rosie since the age of about 16 and Anna since the age of about 14. So it's really good to see them representing England now, and they're seasoned in the Women's Open. Rosie, it's her 4th campaign. Anna, it's her 3rd campaign.
We saw, actually, with a couple of games ago when France played Italy, the 3 middles for France seemed to be playing telepathically at some stages, and Eric, who was with me at the time, the president of the International Federation, was saying they're all from the same area of France, played together, and it makes so much sense when you watch such quick touch being played at that sort of level.
Yeah, absolutely. These girls play with each other week on week, and when you bring that onto the international stage, you know, certain little partnerships are going to be made, and you can see a lot of the substitutions that are made. They sub at the moment. Is what England are employing. We see Jenny Lee go through,
and the space was there for Alyssa Grant-Walker.
Really good touchdown. Jenny Lee, lovely scoop, and Alyssa, really good support play. So you can see Jenny fixes that player, sees that she's not looking, takes her on her outside, and Alyssa does really well to lose the defender who was meant to be tracking her.
Yeah, it was Ella Stallart's the opposite number of Alyssa Grant-Walker, the number 8, and just got caught on the blind side, really. And then move into a 3-zip lead. Belgium, though, certainly not made it easy for the favourites, and a little bit more polish in their attacking play, and it could make things really difficult for England. Here they come again.
Yeah, I think we're probably seeing, you know, what really Belgium are capable of. It tends to be, look, a lot of energy, a lot of speed coming in that drive, putting England under a lot of pressure. But when it comes to finishing those sets, that's where England's experience shows, and probably Belgium's lack of experience. But look, they'll be really pleased with the start they've made. Really pleased with the start they've made. Not in so much just the scoreline, but the performance has been excellent. You know, they're playing to their potential at the moment, and it's not like England are not playing well. They're still performing, they're still going through their processes, so both teams won't be too concerned at this stage.
Forward come Belgium once more. It's good hands, couldn't quite escape the presence of the defender there. That's Louise Manitske.
Yeah, good touch there from Lucy Norban. She's actually off to the Junior Touch Championships in August, representing the England Girls 18. She's another youth player actually to come through the same club as Rosie and Anna, as we were talking about earlier, in Cambridge.
Yeah, that looks a little bit forward, I think. I think that's the decision.
Yeah,
Oh, touchdown has been given. Or has it?
so we've got a penalty.
The Belgian players threw me off a little bit there.
So they seen the referee there. They seen him blow towards them, thinking he was indicating a touchdown. He wasn't. He was indicating a penalty. Essentially what's happened, there's an infringement, but the touch was made by an onside player. So therefore there was no advantage. It'll come back for a penalty. And Belgium have got a fresh set here to see if they can put England's line under a bit more pressure.
Good hands. Oh, lovely. Very nicely done indeed. That's Letitia Davovera. And that is indeed a touchdown to Belgium. And they do indeed get themselves on the board.
Yeah, really nice play here. So you watch, looks like they're going to shape for a quickie. So we get that player stepping outside, which confuses the England defence. And we have that short runner hit in. And really, really good finish. It's not very often you step around Emily Clues or Susanna Hudson, two of England's most experienced players, so that touchdown definitely worth a replay there, because she's done really well to score that.
Yeah, super stuff, and no surprise to see England here on the hunt straight away. Like, it's almost like poking a dragon in the eye, isn't it?
Absolutely. So let's see what they'll come there through. Caroline Pillman at the moment.
Yeah, it's almost no surprise. It seemed inevitable there.
Really nicely worked, and that's Kate Davis-Bavin. She's actually a local to Nottingham, so getting a touchdown on some fields in a venue that's very familiar to her. Representative of the Nottingham Touch Club. Yeah, Bronte Sykes just drawing those two defenders really nicely. So Bronte's ran a really good straight line, very effective, drawn those two defenders in, and given Kate a nice hole to hit there for her touchdown.
Yeah, it's a sign of a good side, that when knocked back and given a bit of a setback and perhaps an entry back into the game for Belgium, England reset and struck back with considerable force and a little bit of ease as well. Made it look very simple.
Here's Jenny Lee taking the ball up. Sophia Luxton at half. Alyssa Grant-Walker to Anna Goddard. So Anna then transitioning over to the box, so she'll look for a sub. There she goes.
Here come England into the danger area for Belgium. Elusive play and through and diving. Maybe a touch slow there. It might work against her. I think, yeah, did get a touch on Sadie Meek in there.
Yeah, so Sadie looking to dive there, doesn't quite get there before the referees deemed that the touch was initiated, and Belgium, some good scrambling defence, but very effective. Oh, we've got a change of possession here from a drop ball.
You can see all the Belgium squad out in force on the far side. So the men's teams here as well, supporting on their teammates as No surprise here to see England's number 6 at it once again. Lucy Norburn struck a hat-trick against Wales and fires it in. Our official there seems to be signalling for the video referee, and I think we can tell him it was safely a touchdown.
He's a very, very, as you can imagine with that, very popular down there in the referee tent. He's been refereeing the England domestic season as well, and signalling there for the video ref. We can actually approve the touchdown and allow him to award it.
Yeah, that was all us there.
So Belgium have peppered this left-hand side, or with the right-hand side for England rather, of their defensive unit. So it's been an interesting tactic so far, given as well that actually their success has come on the right-hand side of the pitch. So we would assume here that what they're doing is trying to pull England over to their left, to then give them some attacking hole over on the right. And again, we actually nearly seen them pull that off. So England again going very direct. And a Goddard hitting in here. Bronte Sykes will get into half. And are looking for a sub. Rosie Cormack out to the wing. And look at England here getting some nice width to their play. And they're going to set something up here to strike. Sophia Luxton.
Slight handling error there by Sadie Meakin.
So straight away, if you have a look at the players' faces, you can see potentially either some confusion or a lack of comms coming when they start to separate too much in the middle there.
Okay, last play of the half, and that in fact bang on the Clacton will bring us to a close for this first half. It's been a spirited performance from Belgium, and I think their half-time team talk will be pretty positive on the whole. Plenty of encouraging signs for the team in red. For England, though, it's been clinical and efficient and exactly what we've come to expect. Belgium, though, are not letting that detract from having a great time here in Nottingham. Our roving reporter, Chris, has been on the move once again. Good to hear from Sam there, who is in very chipper spirits. Ireland have been good in this tournament, particularly enjoyed watching their mixed team play earlier on. They are absolutely superb as we see the two teams in their respective huddles. Again, the Belgium supporters enjoying themselves, seeing themselves on the big screen.
You can see Jane Gimber there on the right hand of your screen. She's president, captain extraordinaire. And the Belgians, this is brilliant. Live on the BBC.
Check the acrobatics on that.
They pulled it off as well.
They're having a great time, aren't
as
they?
successful as the Belgians are on the field. Look, I think Belgium going into this half, they're going to be really spirited by their performance. The one area they probably need to rectify is just England's midfield drive. So when England go direct, the yardage they're making is much more successful than when they drive to the box. If Belgium can start to step up and not roll back in defence as much, they're going to limit the opportunities that England have to attack their line. The fact that Belgium are probably addressing that at half-time versus what they may have planned at the start of the day to be talking about at half-time in their game against England, I think that's a really positive thing for them.
Yeah, I think that's certainly right. England, when they do get the pace through the midfield in particular, they almost look devastating. And when they get Belgium on the scramble, that's when their quality can really shine through.
Yeah, the England Women's Open team very, very well prepared. A lot of people around England are talking about this being probably the most talented Women's Open team that England's produced, certainly in the last decade.
Which is no small feat, by the way.
No, absolutely. When you're talking about them on a 70-odd game winning streak, to say, well, actually, these group of individuals are the best we've produced in some time is no mean feat. However, there'll be some fixes here that they need to make going into the second half, and they'll be wanting to finish day 3 positively, going through their processes, making sure they're clinical, because then tomorrow morning, you're only as good as your last performance, and if the last performance was one that they can be pleased with, that makes day 4 a lot more easier to start.
When you say you're only as good as your last performance, 70 pretty good last performances though. That's quite an incredible win streak. We're here at the Europeans. Where are they? Where's their standing on a global scale with that sort of record?
Yeah, so when we talk about their winning streak, that is in Europe. So 70-odd game winning streak within European Championships. England on a global scale, they're currently ranked 6th. I think it's 6th in the world. They were definitely 6th at the last Touch World Cup. But you know, Australia and New Zealand are definitely heads and shoulders above the rest of the world in this division. However, the Asian nations are starting to make a move, as well as South Africa being always strong as well. So going into next year's Touch World Cup, look, England's, I'm not going to sit here and say England are going to go out there and compete for the bronze medal. Most MTAs go to a World Cup assuming. And here we go, really good hands. Rosie Kells, really nice finish.
It's a terrific touchdown, isn't it? The speed of the hands there is what makes it. Yes, there's a spare player on the wing, but...
So a little lazy switch there, and you watch that injection of pace from Emily Clues, and then that straightened line from Bronte Sykes draws those defenders in and gives Rosie Kells a nice finish. No video referee required for that one either.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, so when you go out to the Touch World Cup, I think a lot of NTAs go with that premise that, well, Australia and New Zealand are the likely favourites. In the Women's Open division, you've got really good nations in Singapore, in Japan, in Hong Kong, in South Africa, that are coming through, and they're doing a lot of hard work in developing themselves and their game. So it's going to be a really exciting World Cup in this Women's Open division, and England, I mean, their preparation for the World Cup probably started around 18 months ago, really. And they're on a journey that will probably take them out to the New South Wales State Cup in December in Australia as part of their preparation, through to getting into Malaysia at the end of April and early May to take on the best in the world.
I can't wait. It's exciting times in the world of touch at the moment. This European Championships, just a start for many.
Bit of confusion there on where the mark is. So Belgian player comes back. Her penalty for offside, and she taps the ball, and off we go.
There's Jane Gimber commanding a bit of traffic. Lawrence Lacrosse takes over. Looks for Jane Gimber again. That's a drop from Jane. Turn the ball over.
There's Jenny Lee, fed by Sophia, and off they go.
And this is where you see the quickness. Belgium putting two pistons out there to try and defend it, but good enough to move around them.
Yeah, so what England have done really effectively is almost allow Belgium to give them their shape in their midfield defence. And once Belgium reveal how they're going to shape up for each touch, England simply push that ball around them. Belgium have got to find a way to really stop that if they're going to regain some of the momentum in this game and perhaps get themselves on the scoreboard again.
And Belgium. This is through the middle. Tafavara turns it over. Now to Selets. Chance maybe here for Munoz. The idea was there, wasn't it? Just not quite the execution, although in truth it was a really tough pass.
Yeah, a difficult pass. Probably drifted forward, but the refs opted there for just a drop ball and change of possession. And let's see where England go again. So again, slightly direct with their play. And a Goddard hitting in. Caroline Pillman in at half. Picks up Alyssa Grant-Walker. And again, direct to start with, then getting over to the box. This is really effective from England. They'll be pleased that they're going through their processes.
Oh, lovely take from Clues on the run. All the way through. That is high quality from Emily Clues.
Yeah, Em Clues, she's got wheels. Fantastic athlete, fantastic touch player, and Emily's actually a dual international between touch rugby and tag rugby. She's off to the Tag World Cup later on this year in Coffs Harbour in Australia. We've got two dual internationals for touch and tag. The other one's actually Lois Lau in the England Women's 27s team.
There's no surprise when you see the pace on Emily Clues there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Back in Belgium though, with a little bit of pressure of their own. Clemson, ball in possession here. To the outside it goes. That's a decent looking dive from Louise van Eetske. Again, I think Belgium thought that was going to get given.
Well, I mean, the touch was definitely initiated before the ball was down. The referees have deemed those players offside, so he's awarded the penalty. All I can assume is that the onside player made the touch, but not enough advantage was given against the player who was offside, and therefore they've been given a penalty.
Belgium have to build again with Clemson. So here's Gimba. On rushing, and back to Clemson, and into a bit of contact.
Yeah, it's quite sensible defence prior to the heavy touch. So England, what they're doing, they're noticing what Belgium are trying to do. They're not giving their defensive shape away too early, which is actually preventing Belgium from executing the line attack move that they're trying to run, which is a sweeper play to create an overlap on the left-hand side. So good defence from England.
Yeah, Gimba on the outside. There she is. Clemson. Sweeps back around. Eagles at the bottom of your picture.
And we've got a bit of rain starting to fall as well, so it's going to add to the conditions.
Belgium patient in their build-up here. Nagels. Gimba very congested in the middle. Now they can look to break here with Gimba. Heaves it over towards the far side, towards the rushing Penelope Spencer, but didn't quite have the legs on that pass.
Yeah, a bit of hope and a prayer for Jane with that pass. Last touch option, so why not? But England just fronting up there and ensuring they've got the player covered, ignoring the ball.
There's a far more regular East Midlands conditions here as the rain starts to fall. I think I've lived in Nottingham for the last 7 years. I think this is I can't remember the last time it rained. It's been that sort of summer.
Yeah, as I was saying to you earlier in the break, you know, the fields could really do with a good watering tonight. So, you know, come finals time tomorrow, this one's
fantastic.
Really nice.
Absolutely fantastic work. The offload there was absolutely brilliant.
So England off the driving play. Two Nottingham girls here, so two locals combining there. Sadie Meakin dumping the ball. Kate Davis-Bavin picking up from half. She runs her line really effectively, draws in the Belgian defenders, and Caroline Pillman hits her hole very nicely. Well worked. You know, slightly helped by the Belgian defence in that they were quite torn apart, but that was largely down to the good work of Kate Davis-Bavin and Sadie Meakin.
Yeah, when the pass is released, I mean, split second perfect. Any later, and that touchdown just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and I think the difference between England this half and last is they're just not forcing that pass too early. They're waiting for Belgium to react and then making their decision on what they're going to do.
This is Florence Lacrosse. My apologies, it's Letitia Deverary. It takes over now. Lacrosse with the ball in hands. Oh, and that was half a chance if Lacrosse could have brought that in.
England are really struggling with their line defensive movement at the moment in terms of getting back onside. Their shape's good, but the referee's not happy with the distance they're making. It's a fourth penalty this half. They've conceded in line defence for being offside, so I'm sure there'll be some comms in the box at the moment to make sure that they're finding that line, or at least the line that the referee's happy with. And we've got a penalty here for over the mark. Eddie drew it.
And against more experienced nations, for sure, that you'd expect them to be far more punished. For
absolutely. Look, I think it'd be interesting dynamic in the England box at the moment. I mean, they're going to be feeling one of two things: either, yep, we are offside, we need to work harder. Sometimes the player mentality is, well, we're playing against a nation that we're on top of. Is the referee looking to provide them a little bit more leeway than us? At the moment, I think the referee's spot on. I'm not sure they're finding that consistent onside mark that the referee's setting for them. They're just being a little bit relaxed in how they're getting onside and then back up as well.
Belgium with the ball here with Yvette Andres Munoz. Now racing is Dirkesmarker. Touch there was Louise van Eetske.
good. Two Cambridge girls there combining in defence again. They'll be pleased that I'm plugging them as they're from my club as well.
David Bowman was too impressed with the heaviness of that touch there.
Yeah, heavy touch, so referees picked that one up, and England, there we go, got the check off again to Alyssa Grant-Walker, and Goddard in at half. Just such good composure on the drive at the moment from England. Now they're going to look to set something up. So they've got Jenny Lee to the right there. She'll be the strike player on the field at the moment. Sophia Luxton out she goes, draws and pass. Ooh, too much work for Anna Goddard on the heels.
Yeah, it was unlucky. It was an ambitious play from England, but such is their quality, we felt we could take it on. As we wind ourselves down, 10 minutes remaining here in the second half of this game, which is towards the end of our schedule here today. I say towards the end, very much in the grand scheme of things. We've still got 3 more games to come for you from Nottingham today. France versus Ireland in the mixed open is next up.
Yeah, that's going to be a cracker. I think the surprise packet potentially in the mixed open this year has been England's underperformance, if you like. England are normally well fancied in that division, so France and Ireland, they're smelling blood at the moment.
And Ireland looks magnificent.
Yeah, they're ready to pounce. So that's going to be a really good game to bring us to the end of the mixed open rounds for the day.
Belgium here just running in again into a little bit of traffic, and then we have the men's 40s game between England and Jersey, and we end with a mixed open game between Wales and Scotland, which I've been told by just about everybody I've seen today is the main event of the day.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Certainly, that's been a game that I've been looking forward to for some months now.
Yeah, that's what I've been told already. Yeah,
it's almost a certainty we're going to see both of those teams appear in tomorrow afternoon's mixed open final. Where Scotland mixed open, they're actually ranked second in the world at the moment via the FIT international rankings. They haven't lost. They haven't been able to not call themselves European champions in something like, I forget the statistic I gave, but it's well over sort of 1,500 days, if you like. They're on a really good streak at European Championship level, but, and there's a big but there, Wales have been working on their mixed open team for a number of years now in terms of their youth development. They've got a young team balanced with some outstanding experience, particularly in Gareth Revel as the leading European touchdown scorer. He reached 100 touchdowns on day one of these championships. Could this be Wales' year? Absolutely it could be. If things go well for them and they can neutralise what Scotland throw at them both in attack and defence, I see no reason why Wales won't be walking away with the European title. But Scotland, experience, pedigree, they're going to be up for not just this afternoon's game, but also tomorrow afternoon's.
Yeah, it's an exciting game for sure, and there will be an extra added ingredient to that game because, as I mentioned, it's the talk of the Highfields Park today is that fixture, and that won't escape the two teams. I know all about that.
Yeah.
England's head back towards the line here, and Cameron Pillman just stopped.
Look, I think both teams will be, I won't say basking, but they'll certainly be watching keenly at England's sort of deficiencies this tournament. Particularly a big shock last night as Chile, our visitors from South America, actually got up over the England mixed open team in a really tight contest, or sorry, physical contest as well, yesterday afternoon. But look, the Scotland mixed open and the Wales mixed open are so experienced that they will know that the championship's not going to be won this afternoon. They'll be well aware that actually the outcome of this afternoon will have essentially no relevance on tomorrow afternoon. So they'll go through their motions, they'll look at their processes, but they won't get carried away.
Similar in a sense to the game that we saw earlier between England and Wales in the women's competition here. Wales certainly didn't show their hands.
No, and look, even if they did and the scoreline still reflected that, Wales know that player for player they can compete with England. Whilst they will be disappointed with the result, as no one likes to lose, they'll know that the championship's not won on day 3.
And so too will England, although they're trying to put up a couple more on Belgium here. And I think they will. That's a great take from Madeline Drutz.
Yeah, foot's just out as she's dived to catch that ball. So referees deemed that her foot's gone into touch before the ball was grounded. Belgium get out of jail there.
That was close as well. Back come Belgium now. Anna Starets leading the charge. This is the tall figure of Jean Delafontaine. Again, referee coming down hard on the England team here. Forward goes Deva Vera.
Belgium looking attacking England's outside, and she runs into trouble, and the touch is made. So referee again deeming Sadie Meakin there as offside. And Belgium get another repeat set, so we're looking at 5 penalties now for offside for England on their own line. And, well, Belgium don't make too much of it.
Audrey Comini there knew exactly where that pass was going as soon as she released it. And facial expression told us that, and yeah, that told us it wasn't into a Belgian hands. England looked to counter. Meakin now on this near side. Brett can take over. Now comes Pillman. Reversed into Lee. And now the pace quickens with Clues, and all the way. That's lovely from Emily Clues. You just get the feeling that England at times have played a little in second gear in this match, but when they really step it up, Belgium can't live with them.
Look, you can see England, the way they've run that, so they've compact Belgium one side, and Emily Clues is... her line is brilliant there. She's shaped to continue to go on that left-hand side from England's perspective, and then her line, she's run an outline and taken the Belgian defence and just gone straight through the middle. But you're right, second gear most of the time. Not to take anything away from Belgium's performance, because you know, at times I think they've forced England to remain in second gear in many ways. You know, and they'll be pleased.
Certainly with the amount they've held England in this exact position here. We've seen a lot of this. Belgium with ball around the 8, 9, 10 metre mark. And that's just where they've been a little let down.
Yeah, I think Belgium will look at this and sort of say, well, actually, we're disappointed we didn't score more.
Which I suppose is not a bad thing to be disappointed by when you're playing England.
I think so.
Clues again on the run.
Lucky there, Sadie Meakin, not reading the switches early as she thought, and ball to ground. That gives Belgium another chance. Hitting at the line, we're sort of approaching 90 seconds to go, and Belgium, let's see if they can finish off with a flurry.
A Flemish flourish to finish with Delafontaine. Gimber takes over and takes the final 60.
Meakin up high, Kate Davis-Bavin, 2 Nottingham girls combining there.
And they come with Clemson, Gimber. Starlets needs a little bit of help. We'll just reset here, I think Belgium slide back down again. Inside the final minute. Gimber breaking through, but not without a touch there is Audrey Commune, and then we'll get the ball back. That might well have been Belgium's final throw of the dice.
Yeah, as long as England hold on to the ball here, they're probably going to work through this last set. They'll know what the clock's doing. You know, they'll have that in the box as they come on for their last set and understand that a bit of game management here. no stress towards the end of the day. Although here comes Jenny Lee, and she's a big competitor. She'll want to finish off with a touchdown, I'm sure. We look at outsides, good hands from Anna Goddard. We're probably going to get 6 again here. We do. 10 seconds on the clock. Jenny, Caroline Pillman there, Alyssa Grant Walker chatting through what they're going to run. There we go.
Jenny Lee sort of gives a look to us to say, well, let's go then. And there do go England, and Goddard was just caught there by a Belgian defender. Good performance by Belgium. They've given their many supporters here in Nottingham a display that they can be really pleased with, but England just too good.
Yeah, look, Belgium will be pleased, really pleased. You can see the smiles on their face as well, and on come the supporters to wish them well. Look, Belgium, they'll look forward to tomorrow. You know, they've hopefully got themselves in a position where they can they'll get some competitive fixtures on day 4, and England, you know, resuming where they picked off against Wales with a convincing victory, and a positive way to finish off the day for them as they head to their ice baths and get ready for day 4.
Yeah, the recovery is real after day 3 of a very hectic competition for these England girls. We have plenty more on the way. It's a cracking game up next. France versus Ireland in the Mixed Open. Do stay with us. That game is next.